My name is Ayala Metzger. I'm married to Ran Metzger, the second son of two hostages who are currently missing. I was a member of Kibbutz Nir Oz. We were members of Kibbutz Nir Oz until 2005. I know most of the community. My daughter went on Friday to visit Grandma and Grandpa and the cousins, and she stayed over with her uncle. At 6:30 in the morning on Saturday, there were sirens. They went into the safe room and so did we, and we checked in with them on WhatsApp. She said that they were in the safe room. Grandpa and Grandma also promised that they were in the safe room. They didn't always go in, and in around 8, she already let me know that she was asking not to call, just to be in contact on WhatsApp because there's a fear of terrorist infiltration. At 8:30, I had already lost contact with my in-laws. They weren't answering me. At 9:30, my daughter wrote to me asking that I get in contact with her sister because she was texting with her sister, and she wasn't managing to text everyone. She said they are in the safe room under the bed with the two cousins and are in contact with us via 2 phones while the parents are holding the door.
How old is she?
19.
Again, what are the names and ages of the hostages?
The hostage, Tami Metzger, Grandma, age 78, and Yoram Metzger, 80, who celebrated his birthday a month and a half ago.
Have you heard what happened to them? More specifics?
We have some specifics. First of all, the army showed up and said they tracked the phones and they were in Gaza. There was no video, no message beyond that.
So the message that they were in the safe room, that was the last thing they said?
Yes, that's it. We waited for Sunday for someone to actually go to their house and check. On Sunday, the army still had the area of the kibbutz closed, and it was impossible to walk around and see what was happening there. Until Sunday, there was an expectation that maybe someone would see something. Then there was an expectation for identification of bodies, that maybe outside the kibbutz something will be found. But we now have knowledge that apparently they were seen alive in Gaza. Beyond that, I have no idea what's happening to them. Both are very old, sick people. He has diabetes and broke his hip 6 months ago. It's still hard for him to walk. And Tami, too. She has many medications.
Tell me a bit more about them. What did they do in their lives? What do they like to do now?
Tami worked a lot on the kibbutz in many different roles. In education at the commune, which was folding laundry and distribution. At the kolbo, the kibbutz store. She would bring clothes, make sure everyone had the supplies that were needed. Yoram was a manager at the factory, near Lot factory. At a certain point, they also went as emissaries from the factory to Holland, and he managed a factory there in Holland. And that's it. Now, as pensioners and Grandpa and Grandma, the grandchildren come to them often. Us too, of course.
The whole world right now is watching what's happening here. What do you want the international community to understand that hasn't yet been clear to them?
I want them to understand that there was a massacre here in every sense of the word, a massacre. And not by coincidence, it was planned. They even knew which houses to enter, what people were on the kibbutz, where the children and the elderly were. There's not any level of morality on the opposite side in which I can trust, and that really, really hurts. The population of Nir Oz, myself among them, are peace-seeking people who always wanted and thought about the benefit of the other side. We wanted them to live well there, but someone allowed this great evil to take control of the population here, and it arrived on our doorstep. And now there was an awful, awful massacre here. How we get up from something like this, I don't know, really. They murdered children, adults, indiscriminately. This was very much a war crime in every sense of the word. Some of them, like Yoram, is the son of Holocaust survivors. His whole extended family passed away in the Holocaust, the whole family. You can't make sense of it. Where was the state? Where were the rest of the nations in the world who supposedly contain radical Islam? And now I don't know who will manage to return to Nir Oz. A basic trust has been broken.
Before 2005, when you lived in Nir Oz, would you go to Gaza?
No, I didn't get to. When my husband was young, he and his family would enter Gaza. There were good relations with Gaza. They would buy from their market, they would go to the beach there. As far as we could tell, there was no Hamas government that hated Israel. There was some sort of connection. And I remember workers from Gaza on the kibbutz that we took care of them. And they went around the kibbutz as part of the permanent workforce. They ate in our dining hall and knew us. And the connection was good. They received supplies from us, and we took care of them. Even when there were wars, we stayed in contact over the phone. My brother on the kibbutz even organized ambulances for them when it was needed.
So the residents of Nir Oz and even you were once really in favor of peace.
Totally in favor of peace.
And now?
I don't know what my stances are. I know that evil took over and we need to have a war against this evil. It's not about Arabs, not about Jews. I've discovered among Jews too, there can be evil, so it's not about sect. It's just there is some sort of evil here that we have to take control over and stop it. There are people who want to live and who sanctify life, and there are people who sanctify death. Those who sanctify death should be eliminated. That's all.
As a community, as humans, what do you need now?
I don't know right now. Right now the situation is that people are still processing what they went through. They're still hearing the stories, trying to understand. They're still at funerals. It hasn't ended. All the bodies haven't been identified. So we need, first of all, for the hostages to be returned home. We have 70-something people, from babies to very elderly people. The oldest is 85, that we don't know where they are. It scares me to think what's happening there to 16-year-old girls and 30-year-old women, children, babies, a mother who was taken hostage with 2 babies in her arms. If Hamas is capable of this indiscriminate massacre on the kibbutz, what are they capable of doing to the hostages there? And it's clear to me that everything happening now is psychological warfare against us so that we don't strike them. I understand the dilemma. It's a very difficult dilemma that the state is facing, and maybe even the U.S. government. We just want our people back.